Hey, welcome to Fitzdog Radio. I'm your trepidatious something host, a guy who keeps showing up for 1,001 episodes. This is the 1,001st. Thanks to everybody that watched the 1,000th episode with Zach Galifianakis. I got so much nice feedback. I really appreciated the notes, emails, and posts and all that stuff. It was a fun episode. Very proud of it and ready to move forward. Talk to Beth Hoops at Midcoast Media, who is my podcast producer. And we went through some ideas about next year. I'm ready to give some new ideas, things to do. And you'll see it all. Anyway, we're here today. Erik Griffin is my guest. He'll be on in just a bit. We talked earlier today, as you can tell from the same outfit I'm wearing. A lot of times I do the interview the week before, but I just did it. Had a fun weekend. I was in Oxnard. Thanks to the people in Oxnard that came out on Saturday night. Friday night, I did a benefit for the vets, not the veterinarians, although they need money too, but the veterans of several wars. Some of them look like they were from World War I, the War of 1812. There was some old motherfuckers. It was in a American Legion hall in the basement, and it's the kind of stage that's dark and has no lights, and there's like 4 flags on flagpoles on the stage and a podium and folding chairs and a bad buffet. And a lot of old people. It was a lot of young people, too. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. This was a fun crowd. But walking in, I was a little bit suspicious. The microphone, there were 3 people that went on ahead of me, and the microphone was cutting out on every other word. And it was not even a good microphone. It was like a Radio Shack from the 70s, shitty static microphone. I got on stage, and there were no less than 3 people with their eyes closed, asleep in their seats. And I just got off stage. I said, fuck it. And I just walked off stage into the crowd, and I just started having fun with people. I just started talking to them, teasing them, having them tell some fun stories. And it turned out to be just a blast. Comedy is so funny. It's like sometimes you're in the nicest theater and you would think, like when I opened for Bert in Florida, it was nice. It was 15,000 people, but the experience wasn't like magic because there was so many people and it was so big that it's kind of distracting. And then you got a gig at a Legion Hall with no sound, and somehow you connect to it in a way that reminds you why you got into the business in the first place. And like Bert shows, I wasn't improvising a lot. I didn't feel I could. I felt like this is important. This is big. And somehow that takes away some of the creative freedom that lets you find the really great moments. And this was a ton of great moments. And I really enjoyed it. And I worked with the kid, CJ, what's his last name? Malin. I can't say his last name. I wish I could because he's a really good young comic in LA. I brought him out and he did great. Yeah. So that was the weekend. And I talked to my mom a lot this week because I can't get into it, but we had a lot to talk about. And I jotted down a couple of her malapropisms, and here's one of them. She called HBO. She says, I'm watching HMO Max. I signed her onto my account at HMO Max, which I guess is a TV channel where you watch people pay their deductibles and get checkups, exams. That would be a great channel. Just a doctor's office, and you see what the doctor goes through in the course of a day. She also said, we were talking about her finances, and she talked about her NRA account. So either mom is putting some money away for retirement, or she's going to buy some weaponry. I'm not sure which. She'd probably be safer at this point getting the weaponry than putting it into an account because that money's going to be gone. But them bullets ain't going anywhere. She then said we were talking about watching Succession, which she called 3 times cessation, which is, I guess, when they cancel it, they can call it cessation. But for now, it's still called Succession. And by the way, last night's, this fucking masterpiece of a show. And it's so weird because the father's dead and the show didn't miss a beat. I mean, I miss him. I wish he was still in it. But the show stayed strong. And that's a thing they call in writing. When you write for TV, they say you have to kill your babies sometimes, which means you have to get rid of a character you love for the sake of the story. And they pulled it off. What else was I was watching something else good this weekend? Oh, I'm watching that. There's a PGA. I feel like such a white guy. I sit in the gym on the bicycle and I watch this PGA docuseries. I can't even tell the guys apart. They all look the same. They all have the same little crew cutty haircut. And they're all like these tanned white guys that are kind of tall and good looking. And I don't know Justin Thomas from Jason, whatever his name is. Jesus. Danny McCarthy's the only one that really stands out. That's my cousin. In Succession, they were talking about, because I don't want to be a spoiler, but let's just say, people by now, if you don't know that the father died, the father fucking died. And one of the things that the kids are doing is trying to figure out what to do with the business. And one thing that the son said was, well, Dad would want us to keep it. And I thought about the absurdity of caring what a loved one would have wanted. Like, what did you do for them when they were alive? Did you honor their wishes then? Like, my mom wanted to watch fucking Jeopardy every night, and I wanted to watch Curb Your Enthusiasm. Guess what we watched? Fucking Curb. I didn't respect her wishes in life. When she dies, I'm going to think about what she would have chosen and play out some ghoulish desire from the undead, from the unalive. No. Honor their wishes. You didn't even know what their wishes were. And you did when they were alive. You didn't pay attention to the fucking Christmas gift they wanted. I think that's something I'm going to work on. I think that needs some work. Let's get to some mail. Eric wrote in to say on last week's episode, you were talking about splitting the holiday with your wife because she's Jewish and you're Irish. I talked about there's Passover and Easter the same week. You made a joke about going to her family's house and observing Passover, and then going to your family's house and observe them passing out. And then you told a second version. What about a third version? Something like, quote, we go to her Jewish family's house for Passover, and the next day we go to my Irish family's house for a hangover. It's not bad. I'll try it. Tom Russell wrote in and said, when you said this on Childish, I meant to write in but never got around to it. But then you said it again on Sunday Papers this week. The line from the Bible, the first shall be last and the last shall be first, does not refer to a terrible person asking forgiveness from their sins on their deathbed and then they get to go to the front of the line in heaven. What this actually means is that the people that suffered on earth, the poor, the meek, the crippled, shall be treated like kings in heaven, or perhaps go to the front of the line. Thought you'd enjoy this correction, especially being how confident you always sound when you're spouting your knowledge. Yes, Tom, I do sound confident when I do it. You know why? Because I've had to overcome ADD and a bad memory and mild anxiety that keeps me from being present so I remember shit. And so when I say stuff, I say it like I mean it. And guess what? 99% of the time, people buy it. So for the 1%, like you, Tom Russell, I'll take the correction. And I'll make it. I'll point it out. I do it on Sunday Papers. I'll do it on Fitzdog Radio. I fuck stuff up sometimes. I was thinking about Jesus, like, this whole last shall be first thing, like, he was woke. Jesus Christ, the whole Christian right is so anti-woke. It's like they're obsessed with being anti-woke. Do you think Jesus would not have put black people, he would not have considered helping black people, helping poor people, all the things like, all the things that the right stands for, lower taxes on the rich, not redistributing money to poor people. It's all, Jesus was a woke motherfucker. Anyway, here's some overheards. Sean O'Carroll says at an LAX bathroom, dad said to his kid, his little kid, every minute we are in here, mom just gets more upset. That's the spirit. Kid's staring at his little penis, trying to get something to come out. He can't. He's all shook up from the flight. He doesn't like that there's human beings standing several feet from him while he tries to urinate. And you're going to put more pressure on him? Or maybe he's trying to take a dump. Maybe he's barely potty trained. And you're trying to tell him to fucking work it out faster. How about let the kid go? Mommy will get over it. Here's an even worse parent. Aaron Sprague, I think it's pronounced Sprague, said on vacation in Italy outside the Colosseum, young mother saying to her whiny 5-year-old, you have sucked the joy out of every moment of today. Wow. That's the problem with vacations, is your expectations are going to be you're holding hands, you're skipping along through ancient Rome, your kid is soaking in history, you're eating pasta like the 1001 Dalmatians, where they're sucking pasta through their mouths and smiling and everybody's kissing. And then you get there and God forbid your 5-year-old who you fed a fucking Coca-Cola at lunch and some cotton candy, well, now he's having a post-sugar meltdown. And you tell him he sucked the joy out of every moment. Well, you know what? Just go to the Jersey Shore next time. Just get a motel, order some French fries and a grilled cheese, expect mediocrity, and you won't be disappointed. Scott Clark said, on the first day of my first 8th grade, our boating, quote, /history teacher asked everyone what to do, what you want to do, what do you want to be when you grow up? And could you write a better letter? I guess this is the teacher, Scott Clark, on the first day of my 8th grade. Okay. The teacher said, what do you want to be when you grow up? And she said, I just want to be rad. That's good. That's awesome. That kid's going to be rad. Believe me. All right, let's get to it. This is a short intro because my guest and I yapped it up for a long time. He is, you know him from Comedy Central's Workaholics, which was on quite a few seasons, and he was one of the stars. He's been in a lot of movies. Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. He was on the series I'm Dying Up Here that was set at the Comedy Store. Interesting guy. He has had specials on Comedy Central, on several on Showtime, and he's got some podcasts that we'll talk about. Great dude, super stand-up. Go see him live if you ever get a chance. Here's my talk with the great Erik Griffin. My guest, Erik Griffin, is here. He's been here 30 seconds, and he's already telling me how to rewire my studio.
Here's what you should do.
No, but it's true. The two-shot, you almost don't need the single cameras if you have a decent two-shot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You easily could, not to tell you anything more to do, but yeah, you easily could just have this and then put a chair there and then have the camera like this, and it's just the two people talking like that. That's how I do it.
What do you mean? I'd stay here and the chair?
No. You just put the other chair over there.
Oh, that's a great idea. And I get the armchair.
Yeah.
Or if I'm nice, I'd give the guest the armchair.
It depends on who it is, right?
Or
you move both of these chairs. They just do it like that.
The audience would know how I feel about the guest, depending on which chair they're in.
That's like an inside thing. Nobody else knows but you.
Yeah, Eric's an armchair guest. He's a folding chair guest.
Yeah. You're like, wow, this is uncomfortable. I'm like, oh, I don't know what I was like, hey, guys, it can't fit.
No, that is so true. I could do that and just use one camera.
Yeah.
And that way I could repaint the back because the backgrounds here look like shit.
Yeah.
You know, this is a office. I had this place for 12 years and I've never done anything with
you've
it.
had this a long time.
Yeah, yeah.
This is just to get away, you know?
Yeah, I'm 5 minutes from my house.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Got my little TV, my mini fridge.
Yeah, it probably costs nothing, huh?
Yeah, it's city owned, so it's really cheap.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What if they have some open offices? Maybe
I'll look for you. Yeah,
'cause
I've gotten 3 people in here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it's a lot of writer, producers, directors, like a lot of indie stuff.
Yeah.
It's a lot of cool
A lot of people that want to get away from their family.
Yes, yes. How do you find working in your own apartment? Are you able to write in your own apartment?
Yeah, it's just I do. I have my little office, but you know, I just really haven't. I regret not like really focusing on that part of doing stuff like writing.
Right.
I just never thought like, oh, but then like as you get older and you start talking to people, they're like, dude, why aren't you writing stuff? And I go, hey, you're right. But then it's so daunting. It feels like just when you don't know a skill, like all the little things that go into it.
But the thing is, you do.
But you don't know that. Until
you don't know it until you do it. But the thing is, like anybody who's watched 10,000 hours of movies and TV, you get it subconsciously. You know what an act is. You sort of know when you're moving into the last section of a TV show or a movie. And the other thing is like now so much stuff is streaming. So it used to be with network TV, you have to have act breaks at the end of each act, which means you have to end on something big.
Yeah.
And which becomes very prohibitive when you're writing because now you gotta it's not natural that a third of the way through I want to have a big moment. Maybe that's not how the story is being told today.
Right.
So if you're writing for streamers, then it can be 25 minutes, it can be 32 minutes. It doesn't matter. It can be what the story justifies and warrants.
Yeah, I like that. I like I'm trying to figure out what kind of TV I like the best. I mean, I guess I grew up in an age of like what we're talking about right now, like episodics, or like we knew it was going to go 3, 4, 5 seasons, and our minds were like ready for that. I want 3 or 4 or 5 seasons of a show. Now, you know, you go on Netflix or one of these kind of places, and it might be a show that you go, oh, I really like. Like I really like Ali Wong's show, Beef.
Beef is great.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
It was just a right amount of weird, you know, like, and it was artistic, and all these things were happening, and I was like, oh, great. But you go, is that it? Like, are they going to get another season?
I know.
So sometimes because I thought Netflix is already. I'm so done. Like there's like 3 shows that I was like, oh, I love this.
Yeah.
Cancel.
Yeah, there's a show called Someone Somewhere, which is really great and just disappeared. And but then you got shows like my kids got me into Always Sunny in Philadelphia. There's 18 seasons, and they're all fucking great.
Yeah. Well, that's a rarity.
It's a rarity, yeah.
Because that show's almost like a cartoon. That show's like Family Guy or something.
Yeah,
Simpsons or something like that.
Right,
you know,
right.
It's so like they have those, but like sometimes I like a well drawn out show. I mean, Amazon Prime, they do this thing where instead of making a movie, they make a 10 episode, show, standalone show. Like Reacher was that Jack Reacher, the show on Prime. I loved it. It was great because you know now you don't have to because sometimes you think you get a movie. And you go, oh, they left out a lot of stuff. You know, you got to keep this under 2 hours. And so, maybe it was good. But now you can like really delve into it. So here's 8 hours or here's 10 hours of a story. And then I'm like, okay, so in lieu of a movie, you're going to do that?
Especially when they do.
This for me, right?
Yeah. When you have shows like True Detective or whatever where you take, like you said, one story.
Yeah.
And you split it into 8 episodes.
But you're telling us ahead of time, too.
Yeah.
This is a one-off.
Right.
So in my mind, if I'm like, this is a one-off, I'm like, okay, cool. Then end this for me.
Yeah.
Give me a beginning, middle, and end.
Right.
And then I'm with you.
Right.
But don't tell me that, here's a new series, and here's these characters, and here's a great story, and it sort of has a cliffhanger, and then you cancel it?
And then you get me invested in the characters?
I'm invested.
Yeah, right.
I hate getting invested in a project, and then it just goes away.
If you could do a show, any show, say half-hour, comedy, but it could be hybrid. What's the not the details of the show, but what's the style of the show that you would do? Like, what are some that are similar to what you would want to do?
Oh man, it's weird because are you asking me like artistically what I like? Or is it like, am I in the show? Am I making the show? You know what I mean?
You're in it. Yeah.
If I'm in the show, well, then I want a half-hour multicam.
Where you show up on Thursday.
I love the work schedule
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. Like I just did an episode of Lopez versus Lopez. He did the show with his daughter, and I was like, oh man, what a life this is.
Show up on Monday, read it through, take a day off.
So crazy the schedule.
And,
I was like, I love that. But in terms of like for again, if it's a comedy, man, I think I would like to do a show in the vein of Barry.
Yeah.
So it's like an hour long, maybe 45-minute long HBO, Netflix, Hulu type dark comedy. Yeah. But it's clearly a comedy. And then you have this arc of what's happening to a person from the beginning, and there's changes that happen to the person towards the end. Yeah. I mean, a great show like that right now, actually perfectly fits is Wednesday that just was on Netflix. Oh,
I haven't seen it. Is that good?
That is such a great show. Really? Because because the Addams Family is this sort of, it's really hard to pull the Addams Family off because they're really dark and and so to make that funny, but also be authentic, and she the Jenny Ortega, she's great. Yeah, she plays this perfectly well. I believe this family. I believe her. And so then it's like you got this comedy, you got this teen angst, and then you have this great arc. I like that. Yeah, but I think that I think that like I love dark comedy. Yeah, I love and what does that even mean? And I don't know. Like I just mean like. I like when real stuff happens, like beef, like yeah. Well, I think when it's that kind of hybrid, you get to see more levels of the character. Yeah. Instead of like sometimes, especially in a multicam sitcom, each character has to represent a punchline you're going to hit again and again and again. Again. And it's like I mean, there's no art, there's no artistic value in that unless they let you just do it. Yeah. Unless they, you have carte blanche to just do whatever the hell you want. Lopez is multicam, right? So it's a multicam. But what I did like about it was the fact that it was like, oh, there was a little heart in this. Yeah. Like they had these little moments where I was like, oh, this is unusual in a multicam. Did you know George before this? Yeah, I actually did his podcast. Oh, okay. Yeah, I did his podcast like months and months ago. And then he was telling me about his show. I actually auditioned for his show. I didn't get the part, obviously. But so I did that. I went on his podcast, and then I was talking about, I was like, hey, maybe I should be a neighbor on your show, man. I was plugging that, you know what I mean? Next thing you know, like 6 months later, they call me. They're like, hey, this was crazy because I had to do the show. I was going to leave on a Friday to go to do some shows out of town, and they called Thursday, like, hey, can you do this? Right. And I got the script in the middle of the night. Friday, we're rehearsing. Damn. Monday, we're shooting. Tuesday, live audience. Do you have a lot of lines? Yeah. I was this big guest star. It's like, you know what I mean? So I was like, and then on multicam, you can't, so what, you memorize. Yeah. Because they're going to change it anyway. Well, you got the muscle, though. I mean, the thing is, if you're not used to memorize, like you audition regularly and then you get roles on stuff, you work. So that's different than like a comic being told, okay, like sometimes I'll get a role on something and I fucking panic because I just am not good at memorizing. I'm not used to it, Yeah, you probably have a whole process of like I think the best way to memorize something is to just get what the point of this is. Yeah. And so then like what words would you say in this situation? And then what ends up happening is then when you start reading those words, they become your words. Okay. Because you would say this in this situation. Right. When it's good writing. Right. Sometimes when it's not good writing, you're sitting there and you're going, why would you say this? Well, on Workaholics, were you guys able to play with the words? Oh, all the time. But they still had a Bible of alts.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff was, there was moments where you got to say, do whatever, but a lot of that stuff was scripted.
Yeah.
Which is a testament to them. But they just were sitting around messing around all day, and then it was just like they just kept writing. Oh, what if he said this? What if he said that? What if he said this?
So there were writers. Did all the writers punch up on set, or just a couple?
No. Just at that point, it was already punched up.
Oh, okay.
And then it was just like time to film.
Oh, so they had a list of the punch ups already.
Yeah, they'd be like, all right, let's do that all. And then for my thing, it wouldn't. I could just say some nonsense, and they'll be like, oh, we love that. Let's use that.
Because I've written on a lot of shows where I'm the guy on the floor, and we do it. We have some alts banked, but then also on the fly, we like to do it because sometimes you don't know until you see it on its feet where the jokes need to be.
Well, especially on multicam.
Yeah,
a multicam thing is always like you do the scene. And then there's this long pause, and there's this huddle going on with the network and the writers, and then they come over. Hey, they want you to do it this way. Then you're just like, okay. Yeah. I mean, that's what you have to be a pro at.
Right.
You got to.
And that's why when you audition, sometimes they'll throw you a curve, right, just to see if you can handle it.
So the lesson for people listening, if you're trying to be an actor, especially in this day and age, is a lot of self-tapes. So I think that my suggestion for you, if you're self-taping, send like 2 completely different versions because they're not doing that. We're not auditioning live anymore.
Yeah, because when you audition live, they might say, "Oh, we loved it. Try it again. Do it this way."
Yes, yeah, giving you some notes and being like, "Hey, well, what if this was like?" That's when they like you too, and they're trying to see if they can work with you. But when you send it in a self tape, you're just doing this on your own with your wife or something, and you're like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I hate this self tape is the worst.
Have you ever done a scene in a TV show or a movie where you had to fool around with a woman?
Yes, sort of.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was fine.
Yeah.
My wife, who was just my girlfriend at the time, she hates it.
Yeah.
Like she just...
Of course.
Like hates it.
Of course.
I was just in this Ray Romano movie, Somewhere in Queens. It just came out this past weekend. And there's a scene, I don't even remember this happening, but I'm sort of like, in the movie, I end up with this girl, and we're sitting at a table with the family, and she says, "Oh, babe, blah, 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 blah." And she kisses me on the cheek. So my wife, Rachel, she's with me when we're watching the movie at a screening.
Yeah.
And the girl kisses me, and she just is like, oh, I can't believe this. You know what I mean? She's like, what's going on? I'm like, babe, I don't even remember. She was like, you're surprising me with this?
Yeah,
I was like, I don't even, you just have to know who you're with.
Yeah.
I don't try to explain it. I'm not going to argue with her about how ridiculous it is, that this is not real.
Oh, well, think about what some actors do. I mean, you have fully nude making out.
I know. I'm never going to be in a scene like that, thankfully. Sadly.
I did a little indie film in New York many years ago, and I had a scene with a girl where I had to go up her shirt and make out with her. And she said we should rehearse. The director said, you guys should rehearse this because you've been together for a while, and it should look like you're comfortable with each other.
Oh, my.
So we had to go off in a room, and we fooled around for like a half an hour. We just kept fooling around. And I was single at the time, so I had no compunctions about it.
Right.
And then I found out later that she was a stripper.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that's how you got the herpes.
I know. I never thought about I could get herpes from this girl. I was just like, man, this girl's hot. And, the director's giving us the green light. And in acting class, we used to do that a lot. We had fool around scenes in acting class. I went to New York, the neighborhood playhouse for 2 years in New York.
Yeah, but those are the kind of things that come out later that like the inappropriate act. That's a world we live in right now. Where at the time, and you don't even think of it like that.
Yeah.
You're just like, hey, we're just working on this thing, and then later you come, the people. One person could have been like, yeah, I felt uncomfortable in this.
Yeah.
I was in an acting class one time, and it was a comedy acting class, and then this one girl, she reads the material and then says, "I can't do this because I'm a born again Christian," and just everyone in the class looked at her like, "What the fuck are you doing in here?" Yeah. What? I had that happen in an acting class, and the teacher threw her out. He goes, "Then you can't be in the class." Yeah, it's like, yeah. What? He goes, "You can't be in this business." Yeah, right. Get out of here. Yeah. You got to pretend. You're not cursing.
The pretend person is cursing.
It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. Are you going to not play a Republican? Are you not going to play
or whatever
a
it is you don't
racist?
believe in? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, you can make that choice.
Yeah.
You can make that choice. You know, if like I could see how like if you know it's some creepy character and you might
Would
be
you
like,
play a pedophile?
that's what I'm saying. You have some creepy character, you might be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think the same thought process is like when these women are like, I don't know if I want to be nude, if it services the scene.
Yeah.
You know, that ridiculous excuse that they
Right.
give, which is not ridiculous. I understand it.
Yeah, sometimes
but
it's valid.
it's a justification to be like, oh, because I also understand you don't need gratuitous nudity. Like, okay, why are you nude right now?
Yeah.
If it doesn't service the scene, maybe we don't need this.
Right.
So it's the same thing with like, so if you're like, okay, well, what is this person's role in this thing?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I'd want to do that for like CSI,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, there's way less nudity in movies than there used to be.
Yeah.
They've cleaned that up quite a bit, and yeah, but they still have it like who's that girl? Sydney Sweeney.
Oh, yeah.
You know her? She's
Yeah, but she talks about it though, saying like she was in one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. It's on Amazon, and it's called Voyeur, something like that. It is terrible.
and she's nude in it.
But she's butt ass naked throughout the whole movie.
What did she say about doing nudity?
She was saying how she was uncomfortable
Uh-huh.
on the set of Euphoria or
Yeah.
something like that. She
Right.
was talking about like, you know, and my thing is like, I don't know. I think it's just like as we evolve as human beings, I guess, and you look at projects, and I am of the mindset of like, I don't know if that's necessary.
Would you show your cock?
I have bits about this because showing tits and showing dick, it's not on the same page.
Yeah.
It's not on the same page. You know, and we're being told like, well, if we have to show tits, you have to show dick. It's not on the same page.
Yeah.
You know, because everybody loves tits. And we didn't grow up getting nourishment from our dad's dick.
Can you imagine?
That's why it's not the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why it's not the same.
What if that's how babies got fed?
If that was, but then we would all love dick. You understand what I'm saying? We would all just be like, it would be like a thing where a dick would be okay. It would be more acceptable. It would be beautiful.
It would be
because
nurturing.
It would be nurturing.
Yeah.
It's not. It's penetrating.
Yeah, it's aggressive.
It's aggressive.
Yeah.
It's like that's not meant for, and so that's why it's not the same.
Yeah.
So don't tell me, you know, it's the same. It's not.
You're right. I could see that.
So anyway, what I'm saying is like, you know, sometimes I don't. But my thing is this: when you do have nudity, if you're gonna then be all the way with it.
Yeah.
Like there was one, like I again, this is just some of my jokes, but it's like it comes from my real thoughts. It's just like when a woman has a bra in a love scene, it's unprofessional because it's distracting.
Mm-hmm.
When you have some really sexy hot scene and the chick has a shirt or a bra on, oh, you're in your mind, you're going, this actress doesn't want to show us her titties.
Yeah, or it's,
Period.
Yes, yeah.
You know, it's like that's it. So you're not in it anymore,
Right.
Because you're just kind of like, oh yeah, she didn't want to. That's how I thought about Beef with Allie.
Yeah.
Allie has this really sexy scene with this young dude,
Yeah.
and she's saying things like, "Oh, my pussy," all this stuff. And I'm like, but you're not naked.
Yeah.
Because you didn't, and you as you're watching, you're like, oh, she didn't want to be naked.
Right.
Now I'm out of the scene.
Yeah. Or it's the morning after and they're draped in the sheet, but they're married. Why are you fucking draped in a sheet?
But you know what though? I don't mind that. Like I don't mind like use camera angles. Use like you could start it that we don't need to see what happened.
Right.
And then we're finishing, or like the scene starts with like somebody putting their shirt on. Then you're like, oh, okay, so they had sex. They're not going to show that part of it, and that's fine.
Right.
But like we're supposed to suspend our disbelief. I can't suspend my disbelief if I'm looking at a sex scene and you're fully clothed.
Yeah, do it right.
Yeah, or don't do it.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
You know, even Amy Schumer is in this, like, that one movie where she's supposed to be this bad girl that's having sex all the time, and she's being all nasty with a bra on.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Right.
It's like, now I'm out.
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
Yeah.
Talk about, there's other ways to do it. It's just like.
Dude, there's a movie called Brown Bunny. You ever heard of that movie?
No.
It's with it's with a really famous actor and actress. The woman from hold on, I'm gonna look up the actors, but they simulate. They don't simulate oral sex. They do oral sex, and this was just like a rated R movie. I mean, I'm sure it was like, and whatever that special. Hold on, Brown Bunny movie.
Yeah, but that was probably when they look back on it, they probably were like, "Well, this was inappropriate."
I don't know. I think they thought it was very artistic.
What is that guy that made that movie called Sex? That French director.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
He's there's plenty of instances where, for the sake of art, they say this went on, and you're just kind of like, okay.
Oh, Chloe Sevigny. Is that how you say her name? Chloe Sevigny?
I don't know.
Yeah. There's plays that do nudity, and that's got to be rough. Like when they did Hair, everybody was naked on stage. But I think that might be kind of freeing. Like I've never been to a nude beach, but I think I would kind of enjoy just shedding. Just owning my body, because we all have body shame. And to walk it in front of people and see them nude and just feel like, all right, this isn't sexual at all. This is the way we were fucking born. This is our natural state.
Well, we learn. I don't know when we learned this from. I don't know, man. Like most people are hideous. You know what I mean? Like most people, we're just. You know what I mean? Most people walk. Like if you had to say a percentage of hideous people. That you're walking around in the day.
What percentage?
And what
of people,
percentage of people you would never want to see naked? It's probably a super high percentage.
I would say I would want to see. Let's just assume just females. I would want to see about 27%.
Oh, that's pretty. I think that's pretty high.
Yeah, I like to see.
Well, it depends
a lot
on where
nudity.
it depends on where you are.
I live in Venice.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
it depends on where you live, where you are. But
if you live in Thousand Oaks,
yeah, you go. Yeah, or what are you doing in the day? Like, are you at the post office and you stop at Target?
Yeah,
on the way home, you might be like, I don't want this.
Right. But if you're at a Lululemon in Venice,
right,
100%.
Or if you shop at Air One, then you're like, all right.
How about yoga classes? How about a nude yoga class?
Yeah, that would be. I don't know.
I'm sure that's a genre of porn. It must be. Somebody just showed me. Somebody just emailed me a video of a woman on stage at the Improv, and she has enormous breasts, and she does OnlyFans.
Mm-hmm.
And she has 3.4 million followers, and now she's getting spots in Hollywood, and she's horrible. What are you gonna do?
I mean, how about this, man? There's guys who do dumb characters on Facebook and whatever that are also selling out.
Right.
I mean, when there's no such thing as a stand-up comedy agent. Yeah. They're called personal appearance agents. There's no like, you don't have a artistic quality agent. Mm-hmm. There's not an agent that comes to you and goes, hey, this is. I'm going to make sure you're doing quality work.
Right.
And I'm only giving you quality work jobs. No, it's a public appearance agent.
But I blame the clubs, because they should know that it's not good for them to bring in low quality acts, because you get passive customers. Like, you go on the road and you've got, I would say, 80% of the people are coming to see you. Right. 20% are coming in because they like this comedy club. And there's some comedy clubs. You go to like the one in Wisconsin. What's it called?
Comedy on State.
Yeah, club like that. They don't pay you a ton of money because they sell out no matter what. Denver Comedy Works. They're selling out no matter what.
Because they've built a good reputation.
Because they built a reputation.
Yeah.
And then you get clubs that are chains, and they bring in any fucking goofball that can sell tickets. Yeah. And you know what? And then I come to town, and I do okay, but not great, because there's no passive people coming in. Because they don't believe in the club.
And also, the club has this thing where they go, they have this thing called, like, this is a special event.
Yes.
So then, so the special event, that's triggering. It's like, oh, a special event, so that means I have to pay for this, and I'm going to have to pay more. Mm-hmm. If I come in and it doesn't say special event, then they're like, oh, well, I could probably get a free ticket to this.
Yeah, right.
And then I have to go get, pay a meal.
They special evented me last weekend in Oxnard, though, and I think it might have backfired. It was light.
Oxnard's tough.
Oxnard's tough.
That's a tough sell.
Big fucking
it's a
room.
big. All these rooms are big. Brea, Irvine.
No, if that
Oxnard.
same size crowd was in a normal club, it would have been fine. But when you see 600 seats, and you're doing all the shit, it's like, oh god.
Although I thought you meant those are the empty ones.
Yeah. Well,
like when you can see the seats.
Yeah. I was joking around. I was like, you know what? I care about my audience. I'm not like Bert Kreischer or whatever, where you come in and you got to wait on a long line. And you got elbow room in my shows. You can walk around a little bit. Show's over. You're out of here.
But in terms of what you're talking about, it's like, I don't know, man. I stopped worrying about it. I stopped I'm not the comedy sheriff anymore in my head. And when I see that, I just go, all right, I get it.
When you see a bad act?
Yeah. Because especially it's like, okay, well, how do people get good?
Yeah.
How are maybe the big titty OnlyFans chick always wanted to be a comic and she never was able to because she got big titties.
That's
and
true.
People always look at her. She's like, I just want to do comedy. Can I just do comedy?
Look at you defending the girl with the big tits.
No, I'm just saying I don't know that story.
You love her. You really want to see her around the clubs more.
Look at this. It's all perspective. See what I'm saying? It's all perspective. So I don't know. I mean, look how people change. Remember Whitney Cummings when we first met her?
That's true.
She was just the dirtiest comic like super dirty.
Gorgeous, yeah.
Just dirty though.
Yeah.
And then you evolve, you change.
Yeah.
Then you start, you know what I mean? It just happens like that.
Yeah.
So maybe, Titties McGee right now is starting that way. My question though is, I hope she doesn't go on stage and never addresses the titties, because I hate that.
Yeah.
You can't have big ass elephant titties.
Yeah.
And never talk about them.
Right. Especially if you're going on OnlyFans.
Yeah. My thing is like, you just, hey, I got big titties, let's just get past it. And then we're like, okay, thanks for acknowledging that.
Right.
Because if you're on stage and you're just trying to talk and where everybody in the crowd's like, you're not going to mention these titties at all?
Yeah.
And it's not even just titties. I knew a comic who had like a messed up hand.
Yeah.
He had some kind of condition where,
Yeah.
he's holding a mic,
Right.
Yo, man, what the fuck's up with your hand?
I work with a girl this weekend, and she was born with like a stub, but she held up her hand. She's like, I'm always saying mahala. She's like, I'm always rocking out, because she only had like the thumb and the pinky.
Right.
I was like, that's fucking hilarious and brave. And then she did 10 minutes on her hand.
Oh, but
and it was like joke.
But she didn't even have to do that. Good for her. There's going to come a time when she's not going to want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, like, sometimes you got to acknowledge that.
Yeah. Sure.
Whatever your thing is that people can see, you got to acknowledge something about it. Unless you establish a point of view that people can relate to right away.
Yeah.
But if you're going to have some weird thing about you,
No, I early on addressed my good looks because I felt it was disarming. It was distracting. And again, people are against you. They're like, this guy's life has been so easy up until now.
Oh my God.
Hey, Eric, don't laugh that hard. I wasn't hard on the eyes when I was young.
Well, I get it. But there's levels.
Yeah. I was never what you'd call handsome, but I was okay. My fucking kids are gorgeous.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, they turned out really, really well.
Yeah.
Because I think my wife is pretty. Well, your wife's prettier than you are.
Yeah. So we're always like, we want to have kids, and it's like, we always like, oh God, I hope they get her looks and my sense of humor. You know what I mean? Or we're gonna have to put that one. We have to put that one down. You know what I
mean? Trade him like a baseball card.
Yeah. It's like, we need her looks, my sense of humor. You know what I mean? Or my singing voice, and then her whatever.
I didn't know you were a singer.
Yeah. Woo, 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 woo. Yeah. Anyway.
Really?
Yeah. You ever do? I just did a goddamn comedy jam last night. I love that.
Is that the musical comedy show?
Yeah.
Where is it?
He does it at the Comedy Store.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, Josh Adam Myers.
I think Marin goes up and does the guitar. He's fucking good.
Oh, it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
It
Who else is good?
It really humanizes him too.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying? Like when Maron's up there doing the thing, you're just like, it'd be like if Ebenezer Scrooge had a band. Like if Ebenezer was in a jazz band on a weekend, and he'd be like, "Is that Ebenezer?" And he's up there, and you're like, "Wow!"
It's like Hitler's paintings are fucking good, man. I don't know if you've seen them, but if you didn't know it was him,
that's what I'm saying. It's like it really that something about art,
right?
Something art really makes somebody who like has a certain type of personality. Really, you just go, "Oh,
right."
You're really what? Then you start to think, why you like this?
Right. Because you have to be vulnerable when you do art.
Yeah.
You have to take down your guard.
Yeah.
I mean, that's most people that are a little hard to deal with are they're dealing with
something.
Yeah, they're dealing with their own pain, you know. And I know when I'm my least likable, it's because I'm in a bad place.
I know what you mean. I know sometimes I'll go on stage and like, I never blame the crowd. That's just my school of thought.
I'm the same way.
I always think like I could have got him. So if I have a weird set, I know I come off stage and I'll be like, that was me.
Yeah, you didn't strategize.
Exactly. I knew. It's like I know something's up with me.
Yeah.
You know, I know when, and I'll be like, somebody, you know. And then when you're at the Comedy Store, we don't realize is like how many people watch us all the time at the Comedy Store. What I mean by that is like there are certain fans who keep coming back all the time.
Yeah.
And then you have those door guys. Mm-hmm. And they're watching.
Right.
They're watching. And they see the development or the. I mean, you might change a little thing in your joke, and they'll notice it. Oh, you changed that.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like those. I wonder what that must look like when you see a person that you see get spots all the time, and you could see their mood swing.
Yeah.
Or you could see their, it's like we don't even think about it like that because it's just another crowd. It's another Tuesday or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's so much going on. And to like really like hone in on that art form, it's like sometimes.
Well, you're one of the most prolific comics at the store by far. You've always got new shit, and it's always you're not one of these. God, there's so many people doing crowd work these days, but like you really come up.
It's the worst.
Yeah, God, it's brutal.
Yeah,
the crowds are getting sick of it.
I don't know if the crowds are getting sick of it. I really think there's some. I think people like feeling like they're a part of it.
Yeah.
And now they think not only are they going to be a part of it, but they might end up on a viral TikTok.
Yeah, right.
So now they're coming like, I got to be ready with my answers.
Yeah.
How long we been together?
All right, you're driving there, honey. Let's prep. We met. Let's say skydiving. He'll have some fun with that.
Yeah, they think they're a part of it.
Yeah.
They want to come up to you after the show with their business card, like, make sure you tag me in that video you're going to put up that I helped you with. You know?
Yeah, we were great.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, I don't know. I always get insulted because I'll do crowd work in my hour-long show, and I always do it at the end because I feel like I've earned it at that point.
That's what I feel like when I see comic after comic do it. Is like it's the icing on the cake. It's a free, easy laugh. You shouldn't do nothing but that. I mean, look, there's people that are real artists with it. You know, we know who they are. There's some people that you really look like. Rick is amazing. Ian Baggs really good. So like, but then you got comics that are just doing it so they can make viral videos out of it.
I never liked it.
Yeah.
I never liked it because, and listen, I'm great at crowd work. Mm-hmm. You know, that just when I host my own show, when I do Erik and Friends and stuff like that, I host a show.
Yeah.
And I always end up like I do crowd work in between, and I'm great at that.
Yeah.
Any comic worth of salt.
Yeah.
Is great at crowd work.
Yeah.
That's why we became a comic.
Right.
Because in casual conversations, we make people laugh.
Right.
That's not the art form, man.
No.
It's not.
No.
I'm sorry. That's just how I feel about it.
Yeah.
And it's like, name me the crowd work comic who made it big.
That's a good point.
You know,
That's
it doesn't
a very
work
good
in
point.
it doesn't work in specials.
Yeah.
It doesn't work in like trying to show a point of view of whatever. And then after a while it also becomes like you find yourself saying the same things over and over again.
Yeah. And it exhausts the crowd where the next comic who goes up, I'll do 10% crowd work on any given set, but anyone I talk to, the whole you go like, oh, you know, where are you from? And the whole crowd laughs because we all know where they're from. They got asked it 3 times already tonight.
Man. Yeah. I think at the Comedy Store, for instance, it's like you're doing 15-minute sets.
Yeah.
You don't got material?
Work on your material.
You don't got no material? This is it?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing it's one thing to do crowd work because somebody was talking.
Yep.
It's one thing to do crowd work because like something happened and like, you know, the waitress dropped the drinks or something happened, somebody tripped, and then you're like reacting to a moment.
Yeah.
But you're going in just to do this.
Yeah.
You don't got no jokes?
All right. With the same 5 questions.
Yeah, no thoughts?
Yeah.
It's like,
what do you do? Where are you from? How long you been together?
Yeah, for 15 minutes.
At least ask something different. Like Harlan Williams is always interesting.
Oh.
He asks some really funny offbeat questions, and then he weaves it into material and rants on his own.
He's an example of like, this is a setup.
Yeah.
It's a setup for whatever he's just about to talk about, you know?
And he'll shit on whoever introduces him. That's 3-4 minutes right there. Whoever he's bringing up, that's 3 minutes right there. He's wonderful. He's one of the most underrated comics in the country, I feel.
Yeah.
Who else do you think is underrated in the comedy scene? Who do you think?
Us.
Yeah. Amen, brother. Amen.
You know, it's like, I don't know. It just sometimes I don't know what it takes. What's the thing that makes people connect? Who knows?
Right.
I just get to a point where I was just like, all right.
Yeah.
It's not going to be. I haven't figured it out yet. Maybe one day I'll figure it out. Maybe one day there'll be a thing where I'll know exactly who my crowd is and how to speak to them.
I feel like somebody's going to hand me a note that's folded in half one day, and they're going to go, here's the algorithm.
Yeah.
I don't know what the algorithm is. People talk about it all the time. What's the algorithm? It's like a magic code that some people fucking get.
What? You know who gets it? Eliza Schlesinger.
Yeah.
She knows her crowd.
Yep.
And her crowd loves her. Mm-hmm. And it's like every time I watch that, I go, well, that's like, what is that? How do you bottle that? Mm-hmm. Or how do I quantify it? Right. How do I like it? But it's like, I don't know what that is. It's not always my cup of tea because she's not speaking to me.
Yeah.
She's not speaking for me or to me. And so like when I watch her and I see the girls are just like, whoa, the gay dudes are like, what? Right. I had a gay friend of mine was like, I have to have a picture with Eliza Schlesinger. Yeah. Can you please? And I was like, all right. I hit her out like at the class. Hey, my friend, he really likes you. Can you, you know what I mean? And so it's like I go, oh wow, that's great. That must be great.
Yeah, and you don't need 1 million people to follow the algorithm because if you can get, 30, 40, 50,000 people listening to your podcast, that's enough to draw crowds and to sell premium memberships or whatever.
Man.
So you don't need 10 million people to make a good living. And then you look at guys like Greg Proops, like just goes on the road, he knows his audience. They're intellectual, they're erudite, they're urban.
Anthony Jeselnik.
Yep.
I mean, you got to be an Anthony Jeselnik fan.
Yeah.
If you're, because when he does these sets around town, he knows sometimes it's gonna be hit and miss because he knows he's working it out. But he knows like, oh, this crowd, this moment, they're not ready for me. Mm-hmm. They might not be ready for me in this moment if they don't know nothing about me.
Yeah.
But the ones that know him, they're like, give it to us.
Yeah.
So it's just like having that thing. I really wish, but I don't know. I think there's a lot of like, I don't know, underrated comics. Who knows? What does that even mean though? It's like they're not
like
as
people
successful
that
as
you
they
see
could
and
be.
you go, wow, this guy or this woman should be huge, and they're not.
Fahim. I think Fahim's like that.
Yeah. But I have a feeling he's going to be there. Just look at the progress he's made in the last year. He's become a national headliner.
Yeah.
I think Kira Sultanovich. You ever see her?
Yeah.
She's fucking great.
Yeah.
Destroys every time. And then Godfrey, I always felt like should be bigger than he is. Godfrey.
Yeah, but Godfrey's he has his following though. He's what we're talking about.
Right.
He's got a big following.
That's true.
Yeah, he's got a big following, so it's like that's just like so. What I think in his case, we're like he never made the jump to be Kevin Hart or like those kind of people.
Right.
But where he is like,
yeah, but I still feel like he could be bigger. Like sometimes I blame people's reps. I go like because also like in the old days when you think about the early managers, like Woody Allen was with a guy named I can't remember his name, but He took on 3 clients, and he would go to Woody Allen sets in the Village when he was starting out. Then they'd go to a coffee shop. They'd talk about the jokes. They'd talk about who he was and where he was going.
Those days are done.
Managers now are just agents. They're the same as agents. They're just salespeople.
When's the last time your manager talked to you about your set,
Right,
man?
right.
I wish.
Yeah, yeah.
I wish there was somebody like that, you know, that was just looking out for you.
I know.
You know, they just, okay.
I feel like that's a job, maybe like comedy consultant, where you get hired by people at all levels, and they watch your set, they follow you around for a few nights, and then they sit down and, you know, maybe they have some joke ideas, but I think just as importantly, they say, you know, you're doing this. Like, I had this guy open for me this weekend, and I gave him a bunch of advice. He was opening with a joke about eating girls out, and I was like, look, you're a creepy-looking guy, and it's a horrible way to start. And he changed it, and he started opening really strong with this other, like to hire yourself out to consult on how to be a better comic.
Well, dude, I'm ready for that. First of all, that's why I want to get into directing. Like, I just directed my friend's special, Matt Rife, you know, and like.
He's not hard on the eyes.
I know, but the thing is like being a comic myself, and then I like that process of being like, okay, we're gonna work on your special. Yeah. All right, let's work on that. Let me see what jokes we gonna do doing, and how and what's the story, and you know, that's really, I think you're more suited to help this person shine.
Right.
You know,
yeah, director of a special is exactly that.
You know what I mean? Like, but. This guy that opens for me, David Murphy, funny young comic. Well, he's not even a young comic, and he just looks like he's young, but you know, he's like 40 or something like that. But he's like getting into, you know, he's doing great. But he comes down the road with me sometimes, and he had this joke that he's talking about his dad, and he's saying that like it's because his dad is single and got divorced, and now his dad wants to hang out with him more, and he's like, I feel like my dad's he's dating me, you know.
That's funny,
you know. But the way he does, but he has this one thing where he says like, you know, is he? Are you trying to fuck me? He says those words, right?
Yeah.
And I go, that's creepy.
Yeah.
And, you know, just. You have to change the perspective.
Use innuendo. Yeah,
you change the perspective about, you know, and he did. Like, you know, he did it, and it was so much, and I was like, there you go.
Yeah, because that premise can be a metaphor. You don't have to say "fuck me." You can say, "You seem really into me," or "I need to see other dads." Like
or whatever you say.
Yeah,
but you know, he changed it to like he changed it and made it like where I said, just comment on how your dad's practicing on you. And then then you give him a critique. He's like, yeah, you know, you did good.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
I let you hit it, you know what I mean? Like whatever, whatever I'm saying, but don't make it to this thing that's like so out of reality.
Right. When we get off the air, I'm going to ask you the question: what comics do you think are big that shouldn't be?
That sucks, Nick. Because now everybody's gonna be like, well, I wonder who they're gonna say.
Yeah.
How about this? I'll talk about it like this. I don't believe in that. I reject that premise.
Yeah.
I reject the premise because what I realize is this business is about so much more than just say being funny.
Right.
Right. If it was just that, a lot of people would, you know, whatever. But I think that like Bert Kreischer no one markets more than that guy.
Yeah.
No one does it better. You know, he talk about knowing your crowd and giving them exactly what they want.
Yeah.
And have you seen the trailer for his movie?
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah, it's great.
You know what I mean? And it's like, that's just like another level of like, so, but there might be somebody who would be like, I don't get this guy, or what is the taking the shirt off and all this kind of stuff. And that's such a short-sighted view of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's such a short-sighted view because there's so much more. And then the people that aren't big, they're not doing the stuff that he's doing.
Yes.
To get in front of people.
It used to be a successful comic, it took 90% being funny and 10% calling agents, getting materials together, doing morning radio maybe.
Whatever.
And now it's like 50-50.
Yeah, I don't if that.
Yeah, it's probably more like 60-40, and 60 is the marketing part, you know?
I totally agree, man.
Yeah, I mean, the people that are really big, none of them got there by accident.
Yeah.
They all worked hard.
That's what I'm saying.
They all put out a lot of other material besides stand-up.
But that's the thing. There's this new, like, the podcasting thing is such a... Tom Segura was always someone we all thought was funny. You know? He'd be at the clubs. He'd be at the comedy store. He's doing this thing. He was always someone we thought was, well, that guy's funny.
For a long time.
For a long time.
Yeah.
Doing that podcast, getting Rogan's thumb of approval however that happened to become now this media conglomerate, this media juggernaut.
Yeah.
It's like you go, all right, that's a new, he carved out a new way to show people what he does.
Yeah.
You know? And it's just like, so I don't know who the people would be that would be like, well, this person is big, because I think we can look at all of them and be like, why is that person big? Did they sustain it? And this is why. But because the ones that just, there isn't an example anymore of someone who like, oh my God, they're so big, and then they just fall right off. Yeah,
I remember that. There was a guy named Chicken, and he went to the Montreal Comedy Festival in maybe the year 1998, 99, and he became the hit of the festival. He blew up, and all of a sudden he was headlining big clubs and all that stuff. And within a couple years, it was like he was because his
name was Chicken.
His name was Chicken. What about Ant? I haven't seen Ant in a while.
I haven't seen Ant but he had his time.
He got a good
But it's just
run.
like it didn't.
I think he's actually got a good, talk about followings, I think he's tapped into the Asian market, which not a small market to tap into.
Ask Russell Peters.
Yeah, Russell Peters. Ali Wong, I don't think I guess she's probably got a good percentage of Asian followers, but she also crosses over to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think
did you call her or text her and say you like beef?
Oh yeah. I realized I don't have her new number or whatever it was. So I hit her up on Instagram. But I don't even know if she saw
I texted her.
I'm gonna wait and see when I see her in the I'm gonna wait when I see her, because I really enjoyed that show.
And is there a nicer person than Ali Wong?
Yeah. Come on, man. What you talking about?
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, I think that there's, I don't know if there's any, JFL, they've lost their artistic integrity.
Yes.
There's no artistic integrity in that anymore. It feels like an agenda. It feels like back in those days, they picked, and the club owners would come and the agents would come, and they would know, if you're at that festival, it's because you're someone people need to watch. Mm-hmm. So I think the tastemakers were different before.
Yeah.
Now I don't know what this is. I don't know of anyone coming out of there that's the next thing. Right. Because they're not looking for that anymore. Right. You know?
Also, comedy's in a different place. When I went in 96, there was a lot of comedy, stand-up comic-driven sitcoms that were doing very well. You know, right. Tim Allen and Brett Butler and Roseanne and Seinfeld. And I remember even before Seinfeld, but there was so many that there was a feeding frenzy. And if you showed any promise, you walked out of there with a six-figure deal. And you know what I mean? And all of a sudden, you could become very, and it wasn't casting directors only. There was heads of studios showed up. Heads of networks showed up and sat in the audience for shows.
Yeah, those days are done.
Yeah, I remember Brandon Tartikoff came to my show. Remember? He was like a huge famous, I think he started Seinfeld. And, I met with him afterwards. And I was like, fuck, I'm sitting here with the head of fucking NBC.
I know. Those days are done. They don't need to do that anymore. They don't care.
Right. There's an assistant to an assistant that's covering the show.
And even though the only time I've even performed in front of somebody like that is like one time I'm at the Comedy Store and Adam Egate, he comes up to me and he's like, Eric, do your A stuff. And my initial feeling was I was furious. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because I was like, my A stuff.
Yeah.
Bitch, I always do my A stuff. You know what I mean? All my stuff is A stuff. You know what I mean? I was in the main room, green room, just tell me do my A stuff. What you talking about?
Hey, Eric, don't mail it in tonight.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So then I go up and I had that energy toward, and I killed it. You know? Yeah. And then he comes up to me afterwards. He goes, "Oh, good job, man. That was great." Ted was in the audience. You know? And then my first thought was, I was like, Ted Danson? Like who? That's only Ted in my mind. Yeah. But it was the Netflix Ted.
Sarandon.
Yeah. He was in the audience. Yeah. You know, and I was like, okay.
Well, Tarantino comes in sometimes and the place gets buzzy. All the comics all of a sudden are fighting to get on, and let me just get 5 minutes in front of them. And I remember Theo Von was like, I saw him. I never seen him nervous before, but he got nervous going on in front of Tarantino.
I have yet to go in front of Tarantino, and
I did a joke about AIDS. And nobody laughed. And then I heard a table slapping, and I looked over, and he had his head down. He was laughing so hard at the joke.
I know the joke I'm going to say in front of when he's there. Because I'm going to be like, Tarantino. I was like, I heard there was a rumor that he was going to take over Star Trek, and he was going to rename it Niggas in Space.
He would have loved that. Yeah. He would have loved that.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like let's talk about stuff. You know what I mean? Make fun of people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always see that every time I see pictures of him there. Right. You see like these. It's like, what are you doing?
It's like a cluster of comedians around.
What are you doing, man?
Yeah.
You got to wait your time. Your moment will happen.
Right.
The best thing is for this person to walk up to you after a show and be like, hey, you were really funny.
Yeah. But you know what, though? The truth is Tarantino is a comedy historian and an aficionado, and he was around in the early days. He was out in the parking lot just talking very excitedly about, man, I used to come to Chocolate Sunday every week and Mo Better Mondays, and he was very into the black comedians. But he knew the history of all different kinds of comedy, and he had really good theories about. He was very interesting to talk to about it.
Yeah, he's I mean, no one. That guy's a brilliant writer.
Yeah.
Like the way he writes dialogue. I mean, that what's that one though? What's the German one? That there's 25 minutes of dialogue to start that movie. That it's like the guy should be teaching a class at Harvard. About how to create what he creates in his movies.
Right.
It should be like a way, like it's called the Tarantino way or something.
Yeah.
He should have some name for it. The Quentin, you call it, or something. Kind of way, because there's something about the way. So when I knowing that he does that and what you appreciate about when you watch his movies, hell yeah, he would be someone that could talk about whatever he's into in a way that you would be like, oh wow, this guy really. You would have to be
right.
And comedy's a great thing to get into because it really supports the human condition. Like it's the psychology of it and the sociology experiment that goes on in people's minds about comedy and why you're talking about women and men and races and religions and all that stuff. So I'm not surprised that someone like that would be into comedy.
Yeah,
like
they
that.
see the possibilities of it. And there really is a lot. I mean, stand-up is an amazing thing because there's no parameters. They say, here's your job. See that piece of floor over there? It's amplified, and we need you to stand on it for 45 minutes and do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
You want to juggle, you want to play guitar, you want to walk off the stage and walk through the crowd, mic is wireless. Go ahead and do it. You want to curse out the club, you want to shit on the club, you want to drink alcohol, there's
no right or wrong way.
Do anything you want. And then you think about what happens on a stage and you go, well, people aren't really exploring this medium in the way that they could. I love musical comic. I love a good musical comedian, Bo Burnham or who's the guy that I really like? There's a bunch. And Carrot Top is fucking great. Carrot Top puts on an amazing fucking show. And I always hated when comedians shit on him. It's like, well, what are you bringing to the table?
Yeah. Or why are you mad that no one likes what you do on the same level that they like what he does?
Yeah.
That's a mindset that is hard to shake.
Right.
We feel like that.
Of course. Yeah.
It's like I think every comic would be like, they're doing what they do. They think that this is the what's better than this?
Yeah.
And then you look around and you might see something that you go, well, I think what I do is better than that.
Right.
And then you go, but that person's selling out arenas. And you go, well, how's that happening?
Well, it's tough because I've said two things. Number one is when I talk to people that are starting out, I say, look, you're going to save yourself a lot of time and energy, and you're going to become a much better comic if you ignore competing with people. Just do your thing because it's an energy suck. And the other thing is
comparing too.
Compare and despair, baby.
Yeah, because the comparing is what holds people back.
Yes.
Because then you start to think about there's like a fear to like really delve into like be vulnerable and really delve into stuff because you're being so vanilla.
Yeah.
Who like? There's so many comics. Why are you standing out?
Right.
You don't stand out. You don't stand out.
Yeah.
In a show, in the comedy store is a great gauge of that. 15 guys on the show, 15 people, girls, guy, whatever. They're on the show. At the end of the show, I would love if they had a survey at the end of the night after every show. If there was some survey, who was your favorite comic tonight?
Yeah.
That'd be a great thing to do for like 6 months.
Yeah.
Just to see
right.
what people say.
Well, and the thing is, it won't necessarily be who did you laugh most frequently or longest about. It's going to be who stuck with me, who said that thing.
That's what I'm
that
saying.
Hit me hard and personal, and I went, yeah. And you know when you have a joke like that, and you know the feeling you get from the crowd when you hit something. Like I'm doing this bit now about how I'm 57 and I'm not suicidal, but I'm not that excited about living anymore. And I just see people go, yes. So many people are exhausted. I go, my favorite time of the day is slipping under the covers, putting on my eye mask, my earbuds. I put a pillow over my head, and it's like a little mini suicide. And I just see people go, fuck, and that's my favorite part of the day, too. Like, you find something like that.
I know exactly
that's
what you
honest and vulnerable, and people just, that's the thing they remember.
I like to talk about things that, like, I like to feel like I like to talk about things people don't like to talk about.
Yeah.
And I try to make them... I try to give my perspective I try to give my perspective to be like, look, I'm not trying to insult anyone or make anyone feel bad about whatever their thing is.
Or change your opinion.
But this is just how I feel about
Right.
it. And I like when somebody will come up to me, like if I talk about disabled people, I like when a person comes up to me and goes, hey, I work with disabled kids. I really like how you did that. Then I go, that's a win. But that's what I'm saying. Like I always ask comics who are coming out, I'll be like, are you just trying to be funny? Because if you're just trying to be funny, all right. But do you want to be funny or do you want to be remembered? Do you want to be? Do you want to connect? Do you want them to laugh because they're connecting with you, or do you want them just to laugh because you said something funny?
There's a high that comes from having a set where you opened up, and a lot of times it's material you didn't plan on doing. But sometimes you hit on a note, and then you just it unlocks something in you, and it just comes out, and then they embrace it, and you drive home floating on air. You're just like, that's why I do this.
Yeah. And the trick is to remember to try to record all the time so you can repeat
Always
it.
record. I record everything. Yeah.
That's the thing. Because I hate that moment of being like, oh, that was a great set. I wonder what I said. And sometimes it's not even about what you said. It's how you said it, when you said it.
Right,
There's like a nuance to why a joke works great.
And sometimes it's something you said by accident. And they laugh and you go, oh, I just found something I didn't know was there.
Yeah. I like... By the way, that's to bring it back to something else we talked about. That's what happened on the Lopez versus Lopez when I did the show. There was lines. I just changed it, in the rehearsal. I was like, I'm gonna say it like this. Next thing you know, the script guy comes over. Hey, they like that.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
They like that.
Sometimes they don't like that.
Yeah, they go. Oh, they like that you said it like this.
Yeah.
Or actually. I actually, in this instance, another one I'm thinking of in that show is like, I didn't say the words right, but I said it because I didn't have it memorized. So I said what I thought it was supposed to be. And I just organically said it and then he came later and said, oh yeah, this line, he was like, oh yeah, you said it like that. And I was like, oh really? And they really liked it, and I'm like, so that's that moment. Yeah. But in that situation, you have people writing and recording, and they're like, so then you know what I mean? And then another time I just changed a line in the rehearsal. I was like, let me just try this. Yeah.
Well, when Judd shoots, because I worked on Crashing, and it was it was frustrating in a way, but it worked, was, you'd sit in a writer's room for 6 months and you had 9 people poring over every fucking word in a script. And then you'd go to set and they would do it maybe once like that. And then Judd would be like, all right, have some fun with it. And then it was just everybody
just
paraphrased. And it works because you get people's real voice and you find moments. And he hired people that could improvise. And so they would find stuff with each other. And the connection, when you've got a line written and then they've got a line written and you're taking turns, it's a little staccato, as opposed to the flow of people really listening, because acting is listening.
Yeah.
Now they're really in tune with each other.
But let me ask you a question, as from the writer's perspective, because as an actor, I'm actually very aware of, like, when I get a script and we're rehearsing.
Yeah.
I'm very aware of, like, did these people put their heart and soul into this? And sometimes it's trash.
Yeah.
But I know they put their heart and soul into it. So I'm like, let me do my best.
Yeah.
Because I know that must be frustrating. Is
Sure.
it frustrating? You've worked on this thing, and then some comic actor comes in and is like, hey, what if I say it like this?
Yeah.
That's got to be like...
I think it depends on who the actor is. Some make it better, some make it worse. So, and we had different, for TV shows, I don't know if people know this, but, like, there's usually a different director for each episode. Rarely is it the same director for every episode. And
it might be for the first 3 that person establishes, and then... It's just a free-for-all.
And then it's just so much work. You need to be prepping for the week you're shooting the week before, so you just can't physically be in 2 places at once. So you might have a director out of 22 episodes might do 7, and so they each have a different style of directing the talent. And so we had most of them were influenced by Judd. Most of them had that style of very loose, but. It is frustrating as a writer. For
Well,
sure.
I can
and
imagine.
also, you're laying down real estate for maybe the next episode. You need to get this in for that.
I always know sometimes when there's like there's something specific in these words that we need said.
Right.
Because it's leading to something.
Yeah.
Or you like, all right, you have to say this because the person's going to respond with this. And so that's when you like, you go, okay.
But Curb Your Enthusiasm, did you ever do that?
No, I've auditioned so many times.
Surprised you never been on that show.
I've but they don't like me.
Yeah, I have a few friends that feel the same way that
Yeah.
I think are fantastic actors. But whatever it is he's looking for, it's you don't get a script. You just get an outline, and so everybody's completely improvising.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
I always think it's just a way to not pay writers.
Uh-huh.
Improvising. And the thing too is like this: it's not really true improving. You know why?
Why?
It would only be true improving if they did 1 take.
That's true.
The moment you do 2 takes, you're writing, and you're not getting paid.
And
for
the
that.
actors are writing. Right. No, I've heard the process. Maybe I shouldn't talk about this. But I've heard the process is that writers come in for just a week and they pitch ideas.
Yeah, I get
and then
that.
they're done.
Yeah. But that would make sense because it's
And
like
they pay you for
these
the
are,
idea.
These are scenarios we got to put people in, and
Yeah.
let's put these people in the scenarios, and boom. But what I'm saying is, I'm just talking about it. The art form of someone understanding the human psychology and how they would talk to each other in a situation. There's something beautiful about a great writing.
Yeah.
And then, you wrote this thing, and then this is like Seinfeld used to have some great writing, like these dialogues of the characters. I know that wasn't improv.
Yeah.
You could tell because of how the scene, and then it's like, oh, that's great.
It's rich.
It's rich.
Yeah.
So sometimes when it's just improv, you're just kind of like, okay.
Feels thin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. It is thin.
Eric, it's time for some Fitzdog. I need a name for this segment. There's like 3 questions I ask every comedian.
Oh, okay, let's do it.
But it needs a name, like a few with Fitz.
Oh, I got you. Fitzology or something.
Fitzdog fires.
That should have been the name of your podcast. Fitzology.
That's not bad. Maybe I'll call my next special that.
Yeah.
I shot it,
you
but I
should.
haven't named it yet.
Call it that. Fitzology.
Fitzology.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 1. Have you ever borrowed a lot of money or lent a lot of money?
I've lent a lot of money.
You have?
Yeah.
Who'd you lend it to?
Just a few people in my life, family.
Family?
Yeah.
Do you expect it back?
No. I knew, and then there was like a moment where like, you know, it's my cousin. I love her to death, you know, and she got into a bad car accident, didn't have insurance, that kind of thing. And it was like, it was a lot of money. And then she was like trying to pay me back, you know, and then it just was the kind of thing where it was like, ooh, this effort of her trying to pay me back and me expecting her to pay me back is causing a rift in our relationship.
Yeah.
So for me, it just got to the point where I was like, don't worry about this.
Yeah.
You know, my thing is like, don't lend money you need.
Yeah.
Lend money to people. Give money to people.
Yeah, gift it. Yeah.
My buddy told me this thing. You go like this. Somebody, especially if somebody in your life that asks you for a lot of money all the time. People like that in your life. You go like this. You go, I'll give you this. But if I give you this, you can never ask me for money again.
There you go.
Okay.
It's a buyout.
Like, this is it.
Yeah.
Or you pay me back.
Mm-hmm.
You pay me back, then okay. But I'll give you this and we're done.
Yeah.
You know? And so, yeah.
All right. That's good. What's the hackiest bit you've ever done?
Damn. That's a good one. I don't know. The hackiest bit I've ever done. Oh, it was when I first started. I had this joke about, it was, how do you not know Clark Kent is Superman?
No way.
Yeah.
Really? Had you never seen stand-up comedy before?
No. I was 22, whatever. And then I would be on stage, I'd be like this. Let me show you guys. Right now, Clark Kent.
Take your
Superman.
glasses off.
I take my glasses off. Superman. Clark Kent. Superman.
Dude, the next time we're at the store, you're fucking doing that bit. Will you promise me that?
Just for you. If I see you, I remember. I remember doing that. I remember my first set I ever did. I was at Sandy Shore's stand-up class and at UCLA Extension.
Yeah.
And then rest her soul, R.I.P. her. And then we did. I had a bunch. I remember all my jokes. I remember there was no black people on Jeopardy. And it would be like, oh yeah, if black people are on Jeopardy, you have to change the categories. It would be like barbecue holidays, blind singers. I thought I was killing, dude. Yeah.
Ah, that's fucking hilarious. What have you turned down recently?
Turned down?
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't think I've turned down anything. I'm at a stage of my life where I just want to work. I love working.
Right.
I love the process of working.
Yeah, that's the best advice I got early on was say yes to everything.
Yeah, just say yes.
You never know what it's going to lead to or, you know.
What position are we in to be like, I don't want to. It's like,
dude, I did this little indie film last January, a year ago January, with Doug Stanhope.
Uh-huh.
I did a nice role, and I was just like, yeah, it's in Chicago in January, a small budget, you know. And I did it, and now it's fucking tearing up the festival. It's winning all these awards.
You never know, man.
Yeah.
I've done a bunch of those type of things where you go, oh, God, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just did. Let me tell you how much I accept work. There's a kid. He's a kid. He's 16 years old.
Uh-huh.
And he's a big fan. He's just hitting me up, you know? And he's like, man, I'm making a movie. And, he's like doing a student film.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, can you just do a cameo for me? Like, I need you to like.
Oh, that's so cool.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's like, can you just do this thing? And he kept bugging me.
Uh-huh.
And I kept putting it off. And I was like, well, what do you want me to do? And I finally did it, you know?
Yeah. That's awesome.
And he showed it to me. And it's like, it's weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I said, dude, you got me looking weird. But then I go on my IMDb and it's there. On my IMDb, it's his little bullshit movie.
Let me tell you something.
And I was like, but you know what? The fact that he's 16 and has that drive, he'll remember that when he has a real budget in 5 years and I'm looking for work.
And
he's going to be like, remember that guy that I thought was big that did this thing for me? And I'll be like, so
yeah.
I don't turn down
No,
work.
I try to mentor as many young people as I can. There's like 5 people right now that I read their scripts. I try to bring them on the road and open for me. And it just feels great to, to look at these young people and remember how you felt at that age and know what it meant to have somebody reach out?
Well, for me, if I do it, it's because I remember that no one did that for me. You know, no one did that. No one gave me any kind of advice when I was coming up.
Shit.
I didn't know. I knew nothing.
Yeah,
I didn't know how to do this. It was just all this sort of competitive energy, and everybody was like, you know. And then it was also like I'm such a big, boisterous personality, and I got this high energy comedy. So then people don't think that
they think you're fine. You don't need help.
Yes.
Right.
And that's not true.
Yeah.
I love a good tag or a good like, hey.
You're really generous with it. You're always giving me tags. You give me good tags.
I just try. I feel like isn't this what the community's about?
Right,
so not everybody's into that.
Yeah.
Some people are like, oh, well.
I shouldn't say that. Kevin Meaney was very good to me. That's probably the only person that ever really helped me when I was starting out.
Yeah, I did. And you know what?
You start in L.A.?
Yeah, I'm from L.A. I was born and raised. It was even harder to.
Yeah, nobody in L.A. is helping you.
Yeah, which I think is crazy. Because for me, like, I like to establish a reputation of like, I'm gonna be honest with you, you know, and I like that I have that reputation amongst people.
Yeah.
So, because I know it's true. Because if I come up to somebody and say, "Hey, I thought that was funny,"
yeah,
and they go, "Oh man, thanks, man. That means a lot coming from you."
Yeah.
So,
because you'll shit on me too, which is just as useful.
It is supposed to be you. That's how I feel about it. Right. I don't mind telling people, I'm like, you're not as funny as you think you are. Like, or like, this is not. You're
better than that.
This is better than you're better.
Yeah.
I gotta say this moment, and you can cut it out if you want.
Okay.
My favorite moment of you and I ever.
Yeah.
We're sitting in the back of the OR.
Uh-huh.
Maz Jobrani is on stage, and he says a joke that just was like it was like just a hacky moment.
Uh-huh.
And we're not even looking at each other, and we both said this at the same time. Ooh. We both went, ooh. And then I looked over at you, you looked over at me, and we were just like, ah. It was just that's just a great, like, you know.
Hilarious.
Yeah, it's just a moment that you just go. So I like to establish that. I like that people that are even bigger than me feel this way about me.
Yeah.
I hit up Lil Rel the other day. I was watching his special on a plane, you know. And he's got these really funny moments in his special.
Yeah.
He knows how to be funny. You know, and I'm cracking up. And I hit him up and I was like, yo, man, I saw you. I was really laughing at this. And I said, I'm going to be honest with you. I wanted to hate.
Oh, you said that to him?
Yeah. I said, I wanted to hate on that. I said, he got another special. Let me see what this fool is doing.
Right.
And I said, man, it was funny. Uh-huh. And then he said, those exact same words. He said, man, that means a lot coming from you.
Yeah.
Here's somebody who's making it. He make 20 times more money than me.
Right.
But you just have to establish a reputation that what you're saying is real.
Yep.
So when people ask me to read their scripts and stuff, I always ask this. You want me to read this? Oh, right. Yeah, like what you want?
Yep.
You looking for affirmation, or do you want me to give you my thoughts? Because I'll give you my thoughts.
Yeah. No, my friend's nephew hit me up. I never heard of the kid. He's right out of college. He studied screenwriting, and he sent me a pilot for a sitcom. And I wrote him back, and I said, "Hey, man, this isn't a pilot. You wrote a whole story in one town." And then in the last scene, two of the characters leave the town, go to another town, and the other one burns down. I go, that's not a pilot. I don't know what this fucking show is now. I go, a pilot is when you get to know.
That's the whole season.
I'm supposed to get to know the characters and the town and the relationships.
Yeah.
So I thought very constructive. Fucking guy ghosted me after that because he went to a very touchy-feely little private university in Massachusetts, and they told him he was amazing, and he thought he was amazing, and now a guy who's actually written for shows that's fucking won trophies is suddenly telling you,
hello, Emmys.
Right? And so what a fool. What a resource he had in me.
Yeah.
Not to blow my own horn, but I've been around. Use me and use my notes.
How about this? Use anyone's notes. It's just
challenge what your ideas were. Doesn't mean you got to change it. But
it don't mean you have to agree.
Right.
But it's just to be like, oh, thanks, giving me a different perspective.
Right.
The fact that people don't want that.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, like I always say this. It's like if you say to me, hey, I don't like that shirt. You look stupid in that shirt. Mm-hmm. My initial reaction might be like, man, what the? But you know what? I'm going to still take that in. Then later, I'm going to be like, let me see. Is this shirt stupid?
Yeah.
And then that's what's so on
and
both.
Sometimes you go like, that's good. Some people think this is a bad shirt. I'm a comedian. That's fucking great.
Whatever. What I'm saying is, however you receive the information and how you give it back.
By the way, that's a fucking horrible shirt you're wearing right now. You look like a 12-year-old. You got
That's what my wife always says.
Superheroes. That,
yeah,
they look
I have
like
so many
pajamas.
Dude, one time I'm walking down the street and I see this guy. He looks like he's mid-40s. He's got on khaki shorts, a Captain America shirt, white socks, and some sneakers. Yeah. And I look at this guy and I go, "Oh, that guy looks ridiculous." And then I went, "Oh shit, I literally have this outfit that I wear all the time." And I'm like, damn, is that how I look?
Right.
So it just,
yep.
But what I'm saying is like, you take it in.
Yep.
You know, you take it in and you go like, what's this moment, you know?
All right, final question. Have you ever not finished a set?
Yes. I have been in a situation, where was I? I actually believe it was the Laugh Factory. Mm-hmm. I was at the Laugh Factory. It was, these people in the crowd were just out of control. You know, and it was like they're coming at me. You know, it just was the guy stood up. He was gonna, you know, and I was like, what? You know what? And I just went like this. You know what? Fuck y'all. And I just left.
Because security wasn't doing it.
Yeah, nobody was doing nothing. I was like, what am I doing? I'm not having fun.
Right.
What am I doing for this? What, $30? Whatever it is they're giving me for this set. And I was like, fuck. That's why I said, fuck y'all. And I just left.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah. No, because the clubs have to provide security. They have to be policing the crowd, and then you walk in sometimes and you see the only people working there are like little women, and it's like, all right, that's great, give them jobs, but have two big fucking scary dudes in the room too.
Yeah,
it's
oh my God.
All right, the final segment, and then I'll let you go because this has been a nice long podcast.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think how, you know.
It's called Talk Your Way Out of It. I'm going to give you a scenario, a real life scenario that you're in, and then you're going to look at me, and I'm the person that you have to talk your way out of too.
Okay.
All right. You get asked to perform at a corporate event. They will pay you $25,000.
Love it.
It's raising money for a Palestinian militia group. Your agent, Josh Rabinowitz, finds out about it and confronts you at a screening. Talk your way out of it.
So I've already said yes, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. 25 grand you did.
And I had to talk my way out of what? Doing the gig?
Well,
or being up
or him having a problem.
Him having a problem.
Yeah.
Hey man. $25,000. What are we talking about? You think everything you've given me has been above board? Every job I've gotten has been like the greatest product. No one's gonna know. I don't care about these people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go make fun of them. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna make fun of them. I'm gonna collect this check and I'm gonna get out of there. And I'll send you. You know what? You usually get 10%. I'm gonna send you 12.
Nice.
Okay.
Jewish people love a little extra.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a little extra.
And you're gonna take it. You're gonna take that Palestinian money.
I'm gonna take that Palestinian money and I'm gonna Jew it up for you.
All right, one more, talk your way out of it because you're good at these. Your wife decides to get into comedy. She writes a comedy team routine for you and her and gets a booking at Largo Saturday night. Talk your way out of it.
Oh, man. Babe. No.
You did it. You did it. That's all it takes. There was so much gravitas in that no. There was so many levels of no. It wasn't just no. It was.
You know what's funny? My wife and I, we had broken up for a sec before we got back together. Like, you know, so like before we got married, you know, like, but like a couple years before.
Yeah.
And then she caught herself trying to do comedy.
No shit.
Yeah, so she went out to like open mics and stuff too.
Oh boy.
People were telling me,
yeah,
hey man, your ex is out. You know, I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the reasons why I married her. I was like, no, I can't have you out here. You know, and she recorded one, and to this day she won't show it to me.
No kidding.
Yeah.
How bad do you want to see it?
I want to see it so bad.
Because it's probably all about you.
It is probably terrible. horrible.
Yeah,
And I'm going to put it on my podcast. But she refuses. She will not show me this video.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, your podcast is, well, you got Riffin' with Griffin.
I got Riffin' with Griffin every Wednesday and the Golden Hour with Brendan Schaub and Chris D'Elia.
Okay. And people can get those on everywhere.
Yeah. All over there. And I had another one called Gen to Gen with Matthew Espinoza, but we kind of put it on hold.
So you plug projects that don't happen anymore at the end of a podcast?
Because you can still see, you can still watch it. It's still on YouTube.
Okay, it's archived.
Yeah, it's archived.
Okay.
Like, go watch Workaholics. I'm still on that. It's still out there.
And what's the movie that's coming out this
It's out already. It's called Somewhere in Queens. It's written, directed, and starring Ray Romano.
Yeah.
Laurie Metcalf.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really, you know what? It's really good, man.
Ray doesn't do anything that's not really good.
The dude was like, he's a phenomenal actor, better actor than you realize, you know? And as a director, he was great, so giving and understanding, and like he had a way about him, and it's like it's kind of loosely based off his story, his own life story about his being a father, and it's great. If you've had a father in your life, this is a great movie to watch. And Sebastian's in it. Sebastian plays his dick brother, and
oh, no shit.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, it's great.
Sebastian's getting some work.
Oh, I know, that dude's working. There's somebody that shouldn't be famous, right? No, I'm kidding.
All right, Erik Griffin's also got some tour dates coming up. He'll be, you're doing the Blue Room Comedy Club in Springfield, Missouri. I got
to change my website. I already did that. When does this come out?
Tomorrow, the 25th. So you're going to be Comedy Mothership this weekend.
Yeah, I'm going to be at the Mothership this weekend, so come check me out there.
Zany's in Nashville, June 21st, just one night.
Yeah, they won't give me a weekend in Zany's.
Same with me. I'm trying to get one night.
So I'm doing that.
Yeah.
And then I'm doing Huntsville the next day for the weekend.
June 22nd and 24th. Where's that, Alabama?
Yeah, it's close. Huntsville's close by.
Maybe I'll line up that same weekend.
Yeah, you should. You should try to do that. Get the one night.
Because I was supposed to be at Zany's once and I canceled, and I think they were upset with me. And I'm hoping that they're over it at this point.
Maybe we need to find some places that we can go, just you and I.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, they'll call it something kind of like, old guys or something.
Yeah.
I always wanted to pitch something. Well, we can talk about this after.
All right, after the show. All right, Eric, thanks for being here. You're the
man.
best.
Thank you.
All right, change your T-shirt.